Hello everyone, War Dog here. Today we're very excited to be reviewing some products. There are some CBN wheels that fit on our Tormek T8 machine that we have over here. So these wheels are from WoodTurners Wonders, and Ken Rizza is the owner of that place, so they deal in all kinds of sharpening systems. But this is a 200 grit cubic boron nitride wheel. And so there is no, you don't have to have any special washers or anything with this wheel. It fits right on the machine in place of the regular stone that comes on the machine. So one nice thing about these is that once you get done with your 200 grit, there's no leveling of the stones or anything. You can go right to your next grit. So they do offer it in multiple grits. This is a 200, this one's a 600, and then there is a 1000 grit on the machine. I've been using them, testing them out. So far, we're very impressed with them. The 200 grit grinds really fast. It doesn't seem to heat up. This machine is kind of a slower machine, so you don't really have to worry about it heating up too bad, but CBN seems to handle the heat perfectly. They're easy to clean. They sent along some flick stick, and so we'll show you how to use that. When you got your Tormek running or your grinder running, you open that up, put a little bit on there. So whenever I'm done sharpening, we'll use a wire brush to clean that up a little bit. PB blaster works on it, so you can use that in napkins. Wipe it clean when you're done with it. We're very excited to be checking all this stuff out from WoodTurners Wonders, so I'm going to leave their link in the description. Make sure you check that out. I'm going to bring this a little closer so that you can see the grit. And then I'm going to bring over the 600 grit as well. And so these do need clean. And then I got the 1000 right here is already on my Tormek. I'm grinding away from my cutting edge, which is edge trailing. And the reason I do that is because I'm going to wind up stropping edge trailing, because you can't strop edge leading, otherwise you cut your leather. And so being that I'm going to strop edge trailing, I wanted to be able to go right from sharpening to right to stropping without having to make any adjustments. To loosen that up, you just hold on the leather wheel side and you rotate forward. Show you how easy it is to change these out. Okay, that's the 1000 grit from WoodTurners Wonders. So you can check that out right there. That's what the grit looks like. You do have a magnet right behind the machine to collect a little bit of the dust, and you want to have a shop back around so you can clean that up as you're working. I've noticed it does create a little bit of dust. The face side goes to the inside of the machine. If you put it on that side, it may rub, so don't even try that. I haven't tried it yet, but I can just tell that this face side, this piece comes out longer. So it's going to keep the spacing away from the machine. We're very impressed with these. That's the 1000 grit. That's how easy it is to change them out. Just slide that off. We'll set the 1000 grit over here. Let's put the 200 grit on. Right now we're ready to sharpen a knife. Some of the nice things about the CBN wheels is that there's no dressing it. So this is the SG250 that comes with the Tormek, and it's always changing size, and so it's constantly getting smaller. You're constantly adjusting your sharpening guide, because this starts out 250 millimeters and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And this is aluminum oxide, and so it doesn't handle heat as well as the CBN. The CBN, you can run it a lot faster. If you want to put it on a grinder, you can run them on grinders too. this Tormek wheel, the SG250, you have to have a water tray with it, whereas these CBN, you just grind dry, and you just got to have a way to control whatever little bit of dust you're getting off of either the CBN wheels or your knife. So after I'm done sharpening with each wheel, it's nice to take a wire brush like I got here, and then just take it and start on one side and go across, go back and forth. That'll help clean the wheel. Each time you get done sharpening, just run it on there a little bit and try to free up any of that debris so it doesn't stick in there. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change these. So we'll just grab the wheel, push forward a little bit. Then we loosen the Tormek nut that they have there. This is the 200 grit. So you can see it right there. Let's try to get a close-up look of what the CBN looks like. So I did just run that wire brush on it, so I cleaned it a little bit after I've been using it. But that shows you how aggressive this is. It's second in line to diamonds for hardness, and it can handle more heat than diamonds, so I think it's superior to using diamonds. But that's the 200 grit. So it's nice not having the water tray that you got to constantly fill up like you whenever you use the Tormek grindstone. So here's a 600 grit. This one I want to clean up, so I'm going to put it on here. So it goes right in place of your regular stone, slides on there. You don't have to add anything extra. I got the 200, the 600, and the 1000 grit. So I'm going to run the wire brush. Let's turn this on, turn our Tormek machine on, and we're going to run that wire brush across here very lightly. And we're going to try to remove any of the debris that's on there. Here's a close-up of how thick the CBN layer is. You can see there's a pretty good layer of CBN on there. Let's flip it around. WoodTurners Wonders 600 grit. And then let's look at what the CBN looks like on the 600 grit. That's fine enough to finish a kitchen knife with. Let's get a look from right here. So you can see it's pretty fine. WoodTurners Wonders 1000 grit CBN. So they've all been used, so you might see a little bit of buildup on these. But this is the 1000 grit. So it does leave a very nice edge. I've already checked the knife, and it does leave a razor edge with these CBN wheels. So I'm very impressed. Show you how the 1000 goes on. Always remember where the name is on here, WoodTurners Wonders, that this piece comes out a little bit further, which is going to keep the wheel away from rubbing on the machine. So this is the 1000. So these are 10-inch wheels. The actual specs online show that they're 254 millimeters by 50.8 millimeters. And so they stay the same size forever. This one, you have to re-level this constantly. And then, not only that, but we're having to change it from 200 to 1000 grit. And constantly, so it's just constantly wearing this out. I need to clean this and make it look a little bit better. I'm going to be sharpening edge trailing, and that way I can go right from my wheel to my leather wheel strop over here, and I won't have to do any adjustments. I have a 10-inch leather wheel strop, and then I have a 10-inch these CBN wheels, and so I can go from one to the other without having to adjust my guide rod at all. Okay, so we got our wheel on there. Now let's put this locking nut on. So we do have a KitchenAid knife that we're going to want to sharpen. Okay, I'm sure you can hear that cutting this Tormek stone. Okay. Alright, so my guess would be that it's getting pretty dull running it on that aluminum oxide stone like that. This is the one we just ran on the stone. So by marking the edge, we're going to be able to tell where we've ground at. Okay, let's see if it removed any Sharpie. It looks like it got rid of most of the Sharpie on that side. This side still has Sharpie. Let's make another pass on it. We'll make a pass on the other side. So I took a bunch of the Sharpie off. We're going to make a few more passes on here. Let's take a look at that. So this is the 200 grit. You can see how nice of an edge it leaves. It's very nice. You could probably just use that one and finish with it. Looks like we need a little more work back here in the back, so we're going to make a few more passes on our Tormek. So when you get up towards the tip, you got to roll the knife a little bit so that the tip rolls down and contacts the wheel. That's just the way these Tormeks are. Take a look at our edge. So we're looking pretty good. Most of our Sharpie is gone. Looking very nice. So I think we're ready to go to our next wheel. So we'll shut off our Tormek. This is a Tormek T8. Before I change that wheel, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw this wire brush on just for about 15 seconds. Just to help remove any of the debris that's sticking to it. Just run it back and forth. Okay, it's looking pretty clean. So as soon as our wheel comes to a stop, we're going to push our wheel forward. This is the WoodTurners Wonders 200 grit. We'll pull it off. It's get one more look at what that 200 grit looks like on the cam. So that's where you order these from, WoodTurners Wonders. Get a hold of Ken Rizzo over there. These are very nice stones. If you don't want to have to constantly mess with your Tormek stone, the one that comes with it, then these are definitely a bonus. I'm really liking them so far. I like the fact that I can just leave my everything the same for each grit. Don't have to move the guide rod or anything. Okay, so here's a 600 grit WoodTurners Wonders. Another look at the grit on it. It's actually, the CBN seems almost like a diamond wheel, is what I would compare it to. Okay, we put our wheel on, put the locking nut on, tighten it down. We'll remark our knife real quick with Sharpie. Be careful when you're doing this. I like to make a few passes. Make sure it's nice and dark so you can see what you're doing when you're grinding. We got our 600 grit WoodTurners Wonders wheel on here that we're doing a review on. And so far we're really liking these CBN wheels. So we'll turn our Tormek on. We've already ran through the 200 grit. We're going to run through the 600 grit now. So I'm doing edge trailing strokes so that I can go right to my straw after I'm done sharpening. On this pass I made a pass over and then I came back. I can see a little bit of burr that's on the edge. So that means we got to grind a little more to get rid of that burr. So when you get up towards the tip, you got to roll the knife a little bit. Yeah, right there in the heel, I can see that we've got to grind a little more. So we can see that we're not getting in the heel, and we're not getting, there's a spot there, but we got most of it. So we're going to make a few more passes on this 600 grit before we go to our next, to the 1000 grit. I'm going to make kind of some quick passes on here until we see all the little pieces of burr have gone away. This is the 600 grit from WoodTurners Wonders. So far I'm very impressed with how these edges are coming out. So that's the 600 grit. What I'll do is I'm going to make a couple more passes because we're just now starting to get all the Sharpie gone. So I'm going to make a couple more passes before I go up to the 1000 grit. So when you set your knife down, try to set it down as level as you can. You want it to be nice and flat when you set it down. And then when you get up towards the tip, roll until you get up just right next to the tip and then come back. Don't go too far. So that time we made a pass down and back. We'll do the same thing on this side. You can hear those little pieces of burr. for catching on the wheel. Okay, let's go back to this side. So you got to watch that edge. And you got to keep going until you grind all to all new metal. If you leave any old steel on here, then it's not going to be very sharp. So make sure you grind to all new steel. Take another look real quick. Okay, this is the 600 grit. Once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wire brush and try to apply some pressure to free up any little pieces of metal that are hung up on here. And then what you're going to want to do from there is apply some of this stuff, slick stick, Wonder slick stick. So this stuff, you can apply it to your wheel after you get done with it, or even before. And you don't have to apply a whole lot, but just put a tiny bit on there. And that'll keep your wheel lubricated until you use it again. So just apply it for a second or two. Your wheel's now lubricated. Now we're going to go from our 600 grit to our 1000 grit. So again, with the Tormek machine, take the wheel, rotate it forward, unloosen the locking nut. We're going to take off the 600 grit. I want to show you what it looks like with the slick stick on it. It does kind of look like it's coated now. It's like a lubricant. You can use it on a bandsaw, and then you order that from WoodTurners Wonders to make your CBN wheels last a long time. Let's go to our 1000. There it is. Very nice. We're going to put it on our machine. Let's put the locking nut on here. Okay, so I am going to apply a little bit of this slick stick to this 1000. We'll see how it works with that on ahead of time. So we did already run this KitchenAid knife from we went with the 200 and then we went to the 600, and both of those worked. They left an excellent edge. So there's a few burrs left. We're going to go to the 1000 grit stone and try to get all those burrs gone. So this is the 1000 grit. So I am very impressed with these stones. I recommend everybody would want a set of them. Make sure to get on the WoodTurners Wonders website and check them out. I much prefer this over the stone that comes with the Tormek. So we're gonna keep going back and forth on our strop until we get rid of all those little burrs that are hanging on there. So is CBN right for you? I think if you can afford to get it, I would say definitely do it. It's a whole new ball game for the Tormek. I would guess the best upgrade that I have used for the Tormek. Very happy with these wheels. Want to say thank you to Ken Rizza and WoodTurners Wonders for allowing us to review them. So far we're very happy with these CBN wheels. We have the 200 grit, the 600 grit, and the 1000 grit. And right now we're buffing the edge is basically what the leather wheel does. After you sharpen your knife, you buff the edge with the leather. So that's what we're doing right now. We're on our leather wheel buffing our edge. So thank you everybody for watching, checking out our review of these WoodTurners Wonders CBN wheels. They do offer some other grits. They have a 80 grit and then I believe a 1200. Ooh, 85. Very impressed. Wow. I didn't expect it to be that sharp. Let's double check that. Super sharp. Wow. I am very impressed with this CBN. Let's pull out another piece of the test media this time. We're going to go more center blade. So I'm just going to set it on there and go down as slow as I can. Ooh, 82. Super sharp center blade. Wow. So let's do one more test. I like those numbers. Hopefully that's showing up on the camera. 82. Let's check one more spot. We'll check it closer to the heel. So I'm very impressed with these wheels. Seeing these numbers like this after just a short amount of sharpening. So we're going to tear it. Alright, we're back towards the heel. Here I go. Going down at it. 97. So this was all sharpened on these WoodTurners Wonders CBN. This is the 200 grit. I have the 600 grit right here. If you only can get one, get the 600. If you can get two of them, I would get the 200 and the 600. And then if you can get three of them, then I would step up to the 1000 grit. The next one I would get in line would be the 80 grit, and that would be for bevel changes. So let's take a look at that edge again. So the best tester doesn't lie. Trying to figure out the best way to get the lighting. There we go. So I think we got a hair further to polish that edge, and then yeah, I think we got to go a little bit further, but we're getting razor numbers on that. Below 100, we had like 3 numbers below 100 in 3 spots. That tells us these CBN wheels are amazing. So, very impressed. We did our sharp testing on it. We're very impressed with those numbers. Take a shop towel, and then this is PB Blaster. You take it and you apply just a tiny bit to the wheel. So as we can see, we're getting material on our rag, which is what we want. So we're going to rotate our wheel a little bit further and apply a tiny bit more PB Blaster. Make sure you have glasses on when you're doing this, because that stuff kind of wants to spray everywhere. If you get a little bit extra, you kind of push it around on the wheel. But what we're doing here is trying to remove any of the metal particles. We don't want to leave that on the wheel. I'm going to put a little bit on the rag is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it like that. And then I'm just going to spin the wheel. As we can see, we are still picking up a little bit of metal flake. Then you're going to want to put the slick stick on. This stuff right here from WoodTurners Wonders. There's a wheel on the bottom of this. You turn that and then a little bit comes out. And this is like a lubricant. So it's going to help keep your CBN wheel in good condition. So apply a little bit of that when you're done. They also sent over from WoodTurners Wonders. They sent a few of these homes, which I had already bought some. I buy stuff from WoodTurners Wonders. I'm a customer already. So they have really good customer service. But what these are like little pocket homes. They're 1 inch by 5 inch CBN. If you look right here, 600 grit, and then a 1000 grit. And I'm pretty sure these are similar to their CBN wheels on the grit. So take a look at that. And then the 1000. So you could use these on a guided sharpening system. Anything that would use like a 4 inch to a 6 inch stone, you can use these on. From WoodTurners Wonders, I've also ordered, they have CBN dowels. I've ordered some wallet sized sharpening their cards with different grits. They're CBN. Check out all the stuff they offer. They got bench grinders, they got all kinds of stuff. This is the 200 grit. That's what the 200 grit looks like. Very nice. So I'm super impressed with all these wheels. I'm loving them. That's the 600. We did apply the lubricant to the 600. Here's the WoodTurners Wonders 600. And then the 1000 is on our machine. This is after applying lube to it. The WoodTurners Wonders 1000. And then you can see the layer of CBN right there versus what's underneath it. So it shows you're going to get a long life out of these things. I'm very impressed with them. I think they're going to last a long time. Just got to keep them clean, keep any metal particles off of them. Very impressed. Thank you, WoodTurners Wonders, for sending this over. These CBN wheels work great. I loved them. Very thankful for you guys sending that over for me to check out and put on the channel. They're very nice wheels. The CBN it can withstand a lot of heat. Not that you're going to get much heat on these Tormeks. They don't they don't put off much heat. It's kind of a slow cold grind, but this is so much better than having to regrind that stone that came with the Tormek. I just want to thank you everybody for watching War Dog Outdoors. Check out their website. They got a bunch of videos on YouTube. Check out all their videos. They're very informative. This is probably the greatest innovation for Tormek. We're loving these CBN wheels. Ken Rizzo will stand behind his products against warping and anything that goes wrong with them. Normal wear and tear, that if you wear it out, you just got to get a new one. But if something is wrong with the wheel or it starts coming apart on you for no reason, then they're going to take care of you. Just make sure that you don't use water with these. These are, you want to grind dry. All right, thank you everybody for watching War Dog Outdoors.